The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Oh, come on, man. You said it on the show yesterday. I chose my family over the people here on Locked On Canucks. Well, guess what? That ends today.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks, and also Canucks writer currently with the Daily Hive of Vancouver. Before we dive in the show, we got to thank you for tuning into Locked On Canucks because it is your Canucks every damn day. And we also got to shout out our sponsors, and today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Go download that Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Kyle, man, oh man, this is what I get for choosing my family over you. I get stuck at the airport for 3 hours because of a lost bag. I get home, my wife she throws both kids to me, and I said, man, oh man, why didn't I choose Kyle Bound and the people here on Locked On Canucks? Speaking of choices, well, the Canucks make the choice to sign Jack Roslovic. Let's get into that to kick off this episode of Locked On Canucks because, man, oh man, if there's nothing Patrik Allvin doesn't love more than signing a free agent in the middle of summer, I don't know what else there is, man. Maybe cooking Swedish meatballs for Elias Pettersson.
Or getting haircuts. He likes getting haircuts in the summer.
Yep. Yeah, well, that head must get all sweaty in the summer. That's for sure, man. We'll also get into other misfit options for your Vancouver Canucks and get into the Canucks schedule release, which came out today for the 2025-26 season. We'll get into some of the spiciest matchups there. Before we get to all that, let me introduce my co-host. Man, oh man, I missed you, brother. I don't know if you missed me, but good to see you here. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, of course, man. I miss our 10 a.m. phone calls about the game of hockey, man. Not going to lie. I'm surprised you didn't call me, though, at any given point. You know, just they'll check it. How you doing? You know? Anyways, look at this comment from Pupusetto, right? I think I said that right. From New Westminster, saying, yo, hit the like button, okay? Kyle's girlfriend's got to eat, and Beggsy's family got to eat, too. This guy gets it, man. Happy wife, happy life. Trust me, man. Trust me, man. But, hey, stand up for yourself. That's all I'm going to tell the fellas. But let's just talk about hockey, okay? Jack Roslovic, okay? I like it, but I keep going back and forth, right? Because I feel as if in order to get him, you have to get rid of Teddy Blueger and his money. And I think that sounds sexy and all, but as Trevor will tell you right now, that could be dangerous because, you know, Teddy Blueger's pretty good at the penalty kill and whatnot and playing defense and all that, and Roslovic isn't.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're completely different players, for middle of the lineup guys. And, I think, again, you got to tread carefully with bringing a guy like Roslovic to Vancouver, especially if the cost is getting rid of a guy like Teddy Blueger. But Kyle, what is the backbone of this Vancouver Canucks team? It's the defense and it's the goaltending. What they need is guys to put the puck in the net, and that's what Jack Roslovic can do. Again, it's going to.
Trevor, come on, that's risky. After losing Pius Suter, you want to lose Teddy Blueger too?
It is risky.
Because what was it? I don't want to say the Canucks barely missed the playoffs last year. Like they missed it by 7 points, 6 points. They missed it. But they were in the fight up until maybe the last 3 to 4 weeks of the season. Due in large part to their defense, but their penalty kill too. That's huge. Special teams is huge, and our offense sucks. And our power play wasn't the worst, but it was boring and not exciting. And I feel like it killed more momentum than actually gained us momentum throughout the season. All in all, though, isn't it smart to lean into the strength of your team? I told the people this yesterday, yo, let's just Jacques Lemaire. Let's just become the Devils. Let's ruin hockey forever. I'm being serious and lean into defense wins championships. And I feel like Teddy Blueger's a part of that equation. Don't get me wrong. I want offense too, but at the expense of Teddy Blueger, I don't think so. And at the expense of Dakota Joshua, I don't think so too, because he's a pretty good penalty killer too. When he's on his game and got his legs underneath him, do we really want to take away from some of our identity and our strength to bring in Roslovic? He did have 20 goals, but before that he had 9 the season before. And before that, he's had 10 goals, 15 goals, 12 goals. I don't know. Getting rid of some identity for Jack Roslovic it seems a little risky, man.
Yeah, it does seem risky. Again, for a guy who had 22 goals playing in Carolina's system, you like to think that in Carolina's system, he picked up some more pointers on the defensive side of the game. But even when you dig into the fantasy stats, this guy, his expected goals against, his on-ice goals against weren't great. I mean, he wasn't helped out by the fact that it seemed like every puck went in on either one of the Carolina Hurricanes goaltenders when Roslovic was on the ice. But I think you do have got to weigh the fact that you might get Roslovic on a discount and you could get an asset for Teddy Bluger in the door. But Kyle, I'm starting to see things your way, man. It's maybe the vacation brain's a little slow here, but you look at Teddy Bluger as well. Again, not only was he great on the PK, but again, going back to that 23-24 season, great chemistry with Garland and Joshua. Like maybe there's something to be rekindled there as well, because the Canucks do have a bunch of middle of lineup guys, and I think chemistry is going to go a long way to helping this hockey team. Just maybe get a little bit ahead of the mushy middle here. But I think for me, what you want to look at most is what number Roslovic's going to come in at. The problem is, of course, the Canucks are capped out. They're going to have to give away assets to get a guy like Roslovic in the door. And I think other teams are going to be able to outbid the Canucks for Roslovic too. Like, I don't think this is a situation where Roslovic comes and signs at $1.6 million like Pius Suter.
Are we 100%
his
sure about
contract projection on AP Analytics is a little over $4 million. What's that, sorry, bud?
No, like, are we 100% sure about Roslovic not accepting like a Pius Suter type of deal? I mean, I remember when Pius Suter was a UFA a couple years ago, and nobody thought he would accept what he did. I wonder if he gets, he has to pay the price for that. And like, I feel like that's when I'd be more interested in making this a sure thing, because it may cost less than we think. Maybe we can fed him without throwing like a Bluger out or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they can make it work, right? Pull off a miracle and then bring in some of that offense. But outside of that, I'm like, I think we got to think bigger. Look at this comment from Rollins saying that don't trade anyone unless it's for Rossi or better. Now, obviously, Marco Rossi, Roslovic, different tiers, right? For real, like way different, obviously. But I kind of agree with like, just like trust Aatu Ratu, trust Max Sasson, trust these guys. And if we're taking like Joshua guys out of the lineup to bring in like another bottom six guy, it's like, it just, I don't know about that, man. I think like just make moves when it's like a big impact player. That's the next one. That's the next one. Not for Jack Roslovic.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an argument both ways, though. Honestly, man, like Roslovic had 39 points last season. How many Canucks had more points than Jack Roslovic, man? Could you tell me?
No,
I mean, Pius Suter was one of them, but
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
7. It was actually 7. Kiefer Sherwood was another one. He had 40 points, just a little bit more, but.
And DeBrusque, yeah, my bad. Okay, and he also had like what? He also had like what? 40-something points with Columbus like a handful of years ago. I've seen this guy play many games. He used to play for the Jets as well. Like he's I could see this guy have a ton of chemistry with Connor Garland. Like we talk about Teddy Bluger, right? Like imagine Garland, Roslovic, and Joshua as a third line. Like that's gonna work. Yeah. When it comes to like bringing 100%. In some offense, it's gonna work. That'd be a very, very exciting thing to do. And then Trevor, look what I'm doing now. Now I'm talking it up. Like, do you believe in Aatu Ratu so much that he could like replace Teddy Bluger on the PK, and do all that work? Like, I'm not like saying that Teddy Bluger is like a Selke guy. I just like his work on the PK, and I like Suter's work on the PK too. But do you think like Ratu could just replace that? Is that an easy thing to coach within like a handful of weeks? Because if that's the case, then make the switch right away. Like if you actually believe Aatu Ratu can give you similar value on the PK, on the special teams, then make the move, make the switch. But if not, again, I'm sorry, I'm keeping the teddy bear, man.
Yeah, I think that's a big ask for Aatu Ratu. And, Kyle, to your point, I mean, the Canucks are already thin down the middle. All of a sudden you get rid of Teddy Bluger, and it's like you got Pettersson, Hedl, Ratu, and Roslovic. And who do you trust most in matchup minutes in that situation? It's probably Pettersson. Well, it is Pettersson.
Of course.
And then after that, it's like, it's probably Aatu Ratu, right? Philip Hedl, you like to free him up for some offensive zone time. He's not really a defensive specialist, and neither is Roslovic, right? So I do think, the more and more we talk about it, the more we're thinking out loud here. I think it's too much of a risk for the Vancouver Canucks.
Damn.
I mean, unless you can keep Teddy Bluger around, like, call me crazy. Maybe we'll end on this note. Like, if they moved out a guy like Dakota Joshua to bring in a Jack Roslovic, you're shaking your head right away. And I kind of feel the same way because I don't like giving up on Dakota Joshua that quick either.
Yeah, me too, man. Again, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm being too nice and too empathetic. I don't know. I'm 32 and a half years old now, right? I moved back with my parents. Like, love is all around me, right? Dude, Joshua had to deal with cancer last offseason. Obviously was going to get off to a slow start after, getting the help he needed and, being able to get back on the ice. And I just think he's warranted. I know maybe I'm thinking way too deep about it. I know Trevor works in the financial world and maybe he doesn't, he thinks these options are unlimited for these types of people, but it's like, I want this guy staying close to his doctors, staying close to home. You know what I'm saying? He deserves it. He deserves it. Give him that opportunity. I don't want to give up. And he's a good player. Obviously, he's a good player too. I think at his best, we saw it just briefly last year. Like, you really have to like pinpoint certain games. One was the game that he got hurt in the hip injury, but he's there's value there. And Trevor, a lot of this conversation has to go back with identity. I think, I don't know if I don't think we're going to win the Stanley Cup, but I think this Canucks team could find some success if they lean into their identity, play good defense, have some good defensive players. And then also when they get in the playoffs, it's like, when we didn't see playoff DeBrusque, but that's a thing. We have DeBrusque, Evander Kane, Dakota Joshua, Kiefer Sherwood, Drew O'Connor. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's some size up front, and that could, again, lead to some more home games, some more success. Quinn Hughes is like, Vancouver's a great place to, play some playoff games. You know what I'm saying? Getting away from some of our identity for Jack Roslovic is just, I'm a little scared. Now, one player that we didn't talk about, like, would you do something like this? Like, Höglander, I don't know, maybe a team will give up a second round pick for Höglander or whatever. Maybe Höglander, I don't know. Höglander for another player. Maybe it's Höglander for a second round pick from a couple years ago that we can, develop in the AHL later, but you get rid of that $3 million. Is that okay then to bring Roslovic in? Because now we're talking about a player that doesn't play any special teams. Doesn't have any tough minutes.
Ooh, that's food for thought. My gut instinct is no. Like, you keep Höglander, you bank on the talent. I know he's got the extension kicking in. He is going to be 25 later this year, though, so it's not like he's the youngest guy in the world, and the Canucks are just desperate for some center depth. So I do think that if you could trade Höglander for a second, which I think is possible, but maybe not probable, if you could do that, then you pick up an asset and you get Roslovic, then I think it's something to consider. But, my gut instinct would be to keep Höglander. And I think Kyle will do another episode maybe talking about the breakup potential of Nils Höglander because, he's there's quite a floor and quite a ceiling for him, I think, with the Vancouver Canucks moving forward. He's one of the most interesting players to me heading into next season. Yeah.
And, bro, even like Roslovic and Nils Höglander at his best, that could be fun. And what's crazy about this conversation? Like, again, look at this comment from Cethos, right? Saying, Bluger has never had a double-digit goal season in the NHL. Roslovic has 2 22-goal seasons and 3 others with double digits in goals. And it's crazy how you and I are like, we want Bluger over him. Dude, I'm telling you right now, let's just destroy the game of hockey, man. Defense wins championships. Let's New Jersey Devils this up, okay? Everyone's so excited about the game. Let's just lean into like being hard to play against, trapping it up, and winning some games, bro.
Trap it up, man. There we go. That's what gets the juices flowing. Let us know in the comments, should the Canucks make a move to bring Jack Roslovic in the door? Coming up in the side, we'll talk about other misfits, other free agents still out there. Could they be a fit for the Vancouver Canucks? And we'll get into the spicy schedule release as well. You're listening to Locked On Canucks. All right, before we get back to the show, let's shout out our friends over at It's Game Time, baby. We've all been there, logging in early and waiting forever for concert tickets to go on sale, only to lose your spot for a show you've been dying to see. Live music should be about making memories, not dealing with the stress of ticket shopping. And that's where Game Time comes in. Game Time makes getting concert tickets faster and easier than ever. Prices actually drop as it gets closer to showtime, and you can save up to 60% off with killer last-minute deals. Kyle, what's you're a big fan of the local Vancouver music scene, man. Tell me about some concerts that you've been to recently or something you're going to see.
Everyone go Google like Uncle Strut and see when they go.
Oh yeah,
on tour
Orpheum,
this summer.
right? Orpheum.
I don't know if they're gonna be like super local. I think they'll be on the island in the interior. But it's worth the trip, man. And I'm sure they're gonna have shows locally like very soon. But Uncle Strut, got to check them out for real. And Dassy the band, just go check them out.
Yeah, there we go, man. That's the 101 on Vancouver music with Kyle Bhawan. And here's the 101 on Game Time, okay? Go download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Okay, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Canucks. And before the ad break over there, I actually forgot my point, but I was able to segue out of it and just repeat myself with something I said like 20 seconds before my loss of the train of thought. But I remember it, and it's courtesy of Mike. Look at this comment from Mike Laval. Okay, the average points for a second line center is like 40 to 55 points or whatever, and Roslovic has several seasons in that range. And this is the point I was trying to make. It's funny how you and I are like, yo, to some extent, keep Teddy Bluger and keep this identity, and Roslovic doesn't raise the ceiling and blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, Roslovic, you could compare Jack Roslovic's best seasons and kind of put them next to Filipinos.
Yeah, I mean, we went through that exercise right before I went to Australia, right? And Hedl has averaged 16 goals and 35 points per 82 games through his NHL career, which isn't quite at the second line level, but usage is a big thing, right? If you break it down on a per 60 basis, he's right there as a second line center. Yeah, it's funny, right? That's an interesting comment from Mike, because you dig into those numbers, and I think that's why so many teams are chasing a second line center, because you see like the McDavid and Draisaitls. You see even like Bennett and Barkov. You want to put it in that territory, right? The Canucks back when they had Pettersson and Miller and Horvat. It's everyone wants that deep punch down the middle, but most teams don't have it, and that's why there's so many teams who are thirsty for a second line center, which is why I fully believe that I have some interest in bringing Roslovic to Vancouver. But to have it at the expense of the defensive game that is supposed to be the team's bread and butter, I do have some trepidation about that. Yeah. And honestly, I think another team is going to find the money to get Jack Roslovic. And to answer your question before about Pius Suter, Jack Roslovic's valued at $4 million in terms of his next contract. I think it's going to fall somewhere in that 2-ish range, just because of how long this has taken into free agency. But almost every other team in the NHL is more cap space than the Vancouver Canucks, right? I think when I last checked, there's like 23 or 24 teams who could comfortably fit in Jack Roslovic's contract without, taking a body off their roster.
Yeah, but I wonder if Roslovic would be cool with coming here because of opportunity, right? Like, is there any world where now, again, I think for back-to-back seasons, he signed like a 1-year deal, unless he got traded from the Rangers to Carolina. If you can double check that. I don't think he did, because I think he was a trade deadline acquisition from the Rangers a couple seasons ago. Nonetheless, he probably thought he was going to get the 4-year deal this year right away. But I guarantee this guy's going to filter out and get that 1-year, $2 million deal, or that 2-year, $4 million deal. It's the new Pius Suter. And I wonder how much that has to do with his lack of defensive awareness. Like I have to go back to the clock and see if what's this guy's dog-like energy in the playoffs. Because based on what I've seen in the regular season, and I don't know if it's just because of his name, Roslovic, I feel like he's not a wimp. I don't feel like he's soft. He's an offensive guy. Again, somebody I could see have a lot of chemistry with Garland, but He's not the softest guy. And nonetheless, I think there's proof to back-to-back seasons. It's like, yo, he's not somebody in demand. He's actually not until he is.
No.
Maybe
I mean, like, watching the Carolina Hurricanes.
Sorry, sorry to cut you off. Like we're lagging a bit, but it's like since he's not in demand, maybe he sees like there's opportunity here. Like, yo, I could get more points than Filipino. Oh, like I could play with Jake DeBrusk, or I could, you know what I'm saying? And maybe I could prove myself. Canadian market, all the eyes are here, Boom, bam.
Yeah. I keep thinking about Toronto for Jack Roslovic just because the Maple Leafs have the cap space as well. But yeah, I think if he wants to prove it as a setter, it's going to be hard to find a better opportunity than Vancouver. Because again, he's one Filipino injury away or Pettersson injury away from being a top 6 guy on this team, a top 6 center on this team, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think you're right. In terms of being a center, I don't know if there's many better opportunities than with the Vancouver Canucks. Mm-hmm. Now, Kyle, there are a couple other free agents out there. Let's call them the misfits. I want to rip through 4 names quick in terms of free agents still out there. Victor Olofsson, Vegas Golden Knights, power play specialist, power play merchant, if you will, 15 goals last season. Joel Kiviranta, the Finnish Gretzky when he had that hat trick in the bubble playoffs. Robbie Fabry, lots of injuries, but offensively gifted player. And I saw it in the comments. I had to bring it up. Tater Tot Mott. I mean, hey, if you're on the trade Teddy Bluger, Dakota Joshua train and get some more offense, Tater Tot Mott. I mean, it's hard to think that he wouldn't bring his best back to the Vancouver Canucks.
Tater Tot Mott. Nah, I'm done. I'm past that train. We don't need. Nah. I mean, I love the guy. Don't get me wrong. And he's somebody that gave us some good memories. I mean, he scored one of the nicest goals in the bubble playoffs for real. But that was years ago, and yeah, it's not that, man. Again, Trevor, I'm trying to make sense of my feelings towards that comment I read about, like, don't make any moves. Don't make any more moves unless it's like a bigger move. And I don't know if I'm just comfortable with this team or comfortable with like, okay, I could see like some regular season success here. And that's like step one. Again, we need to impress Quinn Hughes. We need that. I know we're not talking about that Stanley Cup energy right now, but let's just win games again, right? I'm looking at the identity of this team and like their strengths, and it's just like keep some of those guys, Teddy Bluger and Joshua and all this stuff. Like, am I stupid for that? Because real talk. Like, I'm not completely content with this forward group. I'm confused too. Trust me, I'm confused. But I'm settling into like the New Jersey Devil mindset.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, what this team really needs is another star up front, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like, this tinkering around the edges, like, do we get this other middle 6 guy in the door? Like, do we trade out this middle 6 guy? To me, it's kind of grasping at straws a little bit, right? Like, you're trying to find the right mix for sure. Like, you're trying to add more goals to this lineup, but you don't want to ruin the defense in this lineup. At the end of the day, the team needs another star, and they just don't have it right now. Unless there's another breakout candidate on this roster. But I think Jack Roslovic, like, that's not going to be the breakout candidate for your Vancouver Canucks,
Yeah, dude. I mean, if there were more like play driving wingers on this team, then maybe, right? Because he seems like a guy that with skill around him can provide spark in the offense. Again, I think Connor Garland's a way better player, but I just see similarities. But at the end of the day, like, they're just not. It's not there for the team. It's just stick to what we're good at, and we just started getting good at killing penalties again, and I think that's going to be a big strength to us. I think it is. Again, let's ruin hockey forever. Let's trap it up. Let's win 2-1. Let's win 3-2. All right, Quinn Hughes 100 points, a second leading scorer 58. Elias Pettersson. Okay. No, okay. On that point, though, of identity, get involved in the comments. Again, Elias Pettersson at his best, even though he was, scoring 10 goals in his first 10 games in the NHL, and even though he has a 100-point season and whatnot, at his best, he was getting compared to like Pavel Datsyuk, right? Right now, we've seen Alexander Barkov win back-to-back cups and go to 3 straight cup finals and be that dog and, see some of his like regular season stats, go up and down because he don't give a F, he just wants to be a strong player, help his team win games and ball out in the playoffs. All in all, though, I wonder how much Elias Pettersson benefits from this team choosing defense and defense only, like, because at his best, he could do that. And then he adds to the identity of this team. Like, oh, they have one of the best defensive centers in hockey. Like, again, let's trap it up. I'm down. Jacques Lemaire.
They should just bring in Jacques Lemaire as coach, man.
There you go.
All right, let's wrap up, get the other side here on Locked On Canucks and talk about some of the spiciest matchups on the schedule for your Vancouver Canucks. You're listening to Locked On Canucks. All right, before we get back to the show, let's shout out our friends over at Monarch Money. Ever wish managing your money felt easier? Well, guess what? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. And man, oh man, the one thing I've noticed about Monarch Money is that you can track expenses with your partner. You know what that means? Less stress. And now I last 27 seconds longer in the bedroom. Let's go. So take control of your finances and last 27 seconds longer with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNHL for half off of your first year, baby.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Canucks. Kyle Bhawan, Trevor Beggs, second best dad in the world. We're at the Don't Doze Art Lab, taking care of that West Coast bias. And Trevor, man, he told me during the intermission that he got a fake 10. And Trevor, I always tell you this, it's 2025 now, and I'm pretty sensitive to cultural appropriation, man. If you want to be like me, you don't have to go down that route, okay? The dark route, okay? You could just hang out. Maybe you could learn more about my culture, but come on, fake tanning? What's the purpose, Trevor?
I think just try something new, man. Like, when you're with friends, you're having a few drinks, they're fake tanning, you're like, fuck it, I'm screwed.
Okay.
I'm still on vacation mode, buddy. But hey, I didn't fake tan the face. So see, it's just the same old Trevor that you know and love, man. But I'm a bronze beauty underneath.
Darker down below.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That sounds like a fetish, man. Okay, let's get to the comment. Okay, I know we got to talk about the schedule, but I saw something. Let's just have fun. It's the off season. Who knows what's going to happen? I don't think this is going to happen, but could it happen? Like, I guess his no trade clause has kicked in, so it can't really happen. But like Jared McCann for Philip Hronek, I don't think so. But would you do Jared McCann for Tom Melander?
Man, that's risky
scary.
Right now,
Nah. You can't do that.
I probably wouldn't. Yeah, I would be more comfortable trading Hronek depending on how the season went. But yeah, like I say, he's got the no move clause now. Yeah. He'd have to really hate Elias Pettersson to want to leave Vancouver. Just team JT all the way.
Jared McCann, man, his name keeps coming up, and I think if the Canucks start winning games and they get off to a good start, maybe you could see something there, right? And maybe they can get McCann for the low, or not for the low, but maybe someone like Philip Hedl gets off to a good start, and then they flip him in a package for Jared McCann. You see what I'm doing there? Because remember, this organization, they already tried flipping Hedl allegedly, apparently, assumingly to Ottawa for Josh Norris. So, yeah, honestly speaking, I could see something like that happen. Okay, the schedule came out today. I think I actually got it right here. Let me just let me see if we can do it like this. Okay, boom, bam, boom, bam.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, there you go. Okay, these graphics are courtesy of the Canucks. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for this, but hey, let's just have some fun here. Okay, go through every month. Let us know in the comments what game you're looking forward to. We'll start with October, and there's only one obvious one here, and it's not game one.
Yeah. This one's easy, man. This one's
Yeah.
easy. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins road game. No, I'm kidding. It's definitely the JT Miller return to Rogers Arena on Tuesday, October 28th. And Kyle, who's gonna fight JT Miller? And tell me it's not Evander Kane.
No, it's Evander Kane. Trust me, man. Evander Kane can put himself on the hockey map once again when he defends Elias Pettersson. Okay? And I know Tyler Myers said, yo, it's not a big deal. The media made it a bigger. Why did Tyler Myers, man? Come on, man. Come on. We didn't do anything. The fans didn't do anything. Miller and Pettersson did it all. So I think Evander Kane knows it. He's a student of the game, and UFA season. You know what I'm saying? He defends, quote unquote, defends Elias Pettersson's honor and goes toe to toe with JT Miller on October 28th on a Tuesday. It's main character energy, and it'll fill up his ego. I think he'll like that.
You know what would be even better than that would be an Elias Pettersson reverse hit on JT Miller.
Ooh. Okay, you know what? You're a good dad, right? Look at me. I've never been punched in the face in a real fight, only in a ball hockey fight. But here I am asking for a bout between Evander Kane and JT Miller. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. But I've said this many times. I grew up on the WWE, Todd Bertuzzi versus Steve Moore and South Park. Okay, so I need to go to therapy so I can just, ease up. Okay. Anyways, the month after that, what do we got here? Boom, bam. November, December. We'll start with November. Anything stand out here? To be honest, I'm gonna say this. Look at the end of November. You got the LA Kings, and that's a little bit past American Thanksgiving and whatnot. And I don't know that. Who are the Vancouver Canucks? And I think at that point we'll find out, and they're going to play the Kings, and we'll be talking about the standings. We'll be talking about both their positions in the West, and to us that could be a marquee game.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad choice. I think for me in November, I'm looking at the Florida Panthers. I mean, the Canucks they swept the Florida Panthers last season. I think they're like 4-0 against Florida in the last couple of seasons, which is odd considering they've been the best team in the NHL. The Canucks, again, last season was one of their MOs. They kind of sucked against middling to bad teams and were good against good teams. And that's going to be a tough one. Second night of a back-to-back against the defending cup champs. I want to see the Canucks bring it there. And, if they can bring it and have a good record at that point, you're going to feel a lot better about their prospects next season at that point. And heading into December, it stands out to me. This isn't even a marquee matchup. No, I was looking at the Boston game in Boston. I mean, the Bruins always mean something to the Vancouver Canucks.
How about Rick Tocchet?
That's the game right there. December 30th. Quit Tocchet back to Vancouver. That is the game of December right there. Rick Tocchet returning to Rogers Arena.
And obviously he's going to get a round of applause. Jack Adams winner. Thank you very much. But it would be beautiful if Rick Tocchet was 47 points out of a playoff spot, right? And we were second in the Pacific at the time of that matchup, right? End of the year, and Rick Tocchet can look at himself in the mirror and be like, okay, what happened here? Did I make the right decision? A lot of reflecting. I'm actually looking at that game against San Jose, though, because, bro, I'm starting to believe that Celebrini could be, I don't want to say like guaranteed better than Bedard, but on that level of generational. And I think he's going to get a lot better this season. And San Jose at some parts are going to be like must see because of him alone. And I think they're going to be in the fight for the first half of the season. There's going to be some dialogue around like, oh, you better watch out for San Jose. Could they squeak in? And then afterwards, we're going to talk about, the Canucks better win ASAP because San Jose's coming. And again, they got Macklin Celebrini and the BC connection, Trevor. Like we don't talk about this much, and maybe we will at the end of December. But Bedard and Celebrini, right? A couple years ago, boom, bam, back-to-back first overall picks from the hood, and damn, bro, that's that West Coast tap water.
Gotta love it, man. The West Coast tap water, man. It's it tastes way better here than it does in Australia. I'll tell you that much, man.
There you go. Okay, now we got January and February coming up. January, okay. I'm looking at this. Easy one's the Maple Leafs game, but come on, the Devils, the second game against the Devils of the year. It's a Friday night. The Hughes thingy.
Mhm.
That's the one right there. I know we got the Oilers the week before that, but I feel like the Devils become the Canucks' biggest rivals.
In a sense, yes. No, I think it's still the Oilers. And for me, like I know the Canucks played the Oilers early on in the season, but you get to the midway point, the Olympic break's coming up. I think that's again a good barometer for the Canucks at the midway point of the season to see how they match up against the team in Edmonton that's been the champion of the West in the last 2 seasons. But yeah, those are the 2 top games for me for sure. And nice they get an 8-game homestand there, man. You don't see that too many years.
Yeah, I think they got 2 8-game homestands, which could be honestly the worst thing ever for the Canucks, considering they sucked at home ice last year. Yo, bro, I still haven't gotten my extra $25 back for them charging me twice for the 2 beers I bought.
Wow.
I know. Come on, Aquilini, dude. Come on. What's going on? Come on, dude. Anyways, February. There's only 4 games in February. We got the Olympics, and this sounds crazy, a little crazy. But I just want to ask you the question, okay? Because, again, we're talking about the little details and us dreaming a bit. But who has a better chance of making Team America, Team USA? Both have a slim chance, but Brock Besser or Connor Garland?
Yeah, I think it's Brock Besser because of name cachet. But yeah, I think it's slim for both of them because just based on how the USA made their team at the 4 nations, they wanted like those physical defensive guys. Like that's what they have Brock Nelson and Chris Kreider over what was it like Cole Caulfield and Jason Robertson. So, I mean, maybe they've learned from their mistake, but I think if either of those guys are going to get picked, it's probably Brock Besser.
And
I think the big question to me is Thatcher Demko going to be one of the 2 goalies?
That's the easy one.
That's the big question.
That's the easy one. That was just me tricking you, like, trying to get into this. Like, who's actually the second most important forward on the Canucks? Is it Garland or Besser? I'm high on Garland, but yeah, is Demko going to be one of the starters for Team USA? Yeah, I hope he is because that means the Canucks are actually on pace for like 105 points, and we can start watching meaningful hockey again and drinking beer at the bar and helping the economy out and keeping Quinn Hughes.
Exactly, man. Connor Hellebuyck may be the reigning Hart champion, but look at his playoff save percentage versus Thatcher Demko.
Ooh, okay. What's Demko's clutch playoff save percentage again? Isn't it like 975 or something?
It was 974, I want to say. Yeah.
I know it's only 5 games. Yeah. Anyways, March and April, let's end things off and end the show. In March, look at the end of March. Okay, Calgary. I talked about Calgary. What? 2 days ago, and Trevor, answer me this. The Canucks fans and the organization should not sleep on the Calgary Flames. Because in my opinion, they're competition. They're competition. They were in every game last year. They actually played as a team. Yeah, they were super boring and didn't score a lot of goals, but they battled game in and game out. Dustin Wolf, if he backs up his rookie season with another good one, the Calgary's going to be another tough out. And remember, they were 6 points better than us last year. So don't sleep on the Calgary Flames. That could be one of the biggest matchups going into April. I mean,
but honestly, I see where you're coming from, but like, which teams are you sleeping on, or does like everyone have a chance? Because this is Gary Bettman's NHL. Like, there's parity aplenty. Like outside of like Chicago and San Jose, I guess it kind of feels like every team has a shot.
No, it does.
And Nashville too, I guess. Yeah,
it does feel like that. But I think for whatever reason, the more and more we talk about the Canucks and how like, oh, last year again, it was a Jerry Springer like environment in that room. Like no ish, they weren't going to win, and all the injuries and whatnot. Again, everyone was getting hurt for real, and everyone's like, okay, well, that's not going to happen, and we're going to be this defensive juggernaut against the best D in the city at Rogers Arena. Don't let your girlfriend know about that. We got this, right? We can compete with LA and maybe get that 3rd spot and blah blah blah. But it's like, dude, don't forget about Calgary. Don't forget about, Seattle and St. Louis and the wild card stuff again. But I just specifically am looking at Calgary, and I'm like, something tells me that the energy is right there, and they're going to compete hard again. And they got Zane Parekh coming in. And everyone talks about our defense, but Rasmus Anderson, Mackenzie Weegar, Zane Parekh, at their best, that could be scary. Like Calgary, to me, is still going to be a tough out next season.
Yep. I could see them being a wild card team again. I could see them bottoming out next year too, right? Yeah. Like they just don't have a lot of talent up front compared to almost everyone else in the Western Conference. The game for me in March, and this might surprise you, but I'm going to the St. Louis Blues. I mean, that was a team last season, obviously. They kind of like killed the Canucks playoff vibes, right? That overtime win, that intense game towards the end of the season. They obviously came out of nowhere on that crazy run. I expect them to be kind of back in the mix again. So that could be like a wild card battle right there on March 21st. The Blues facing the Canucks at Rogers Arena. And then I'm looking in April, and a couple of games stand out to me. The Mammoth game, like that's a team I think that could be battling the Canucks for a wild card spot. But I'm going to go with that first Kings game. The Canucks, 2 of their last 5 games against the LA Kings, the first on April 9th in Los Angeles. If the Canucks are going to make noise in the Pacific Division, look, the Kings, I think from everybody's eyes, got a little bit weaker. That's a team that could, the Canucks could overtake if you're starting to feel a little bit confident in this team at all, or less confident in the Kings. And there's 4 points on the line there with the Kings and Canucks over the final 5 games of the season.
Damn. I just looked at that too. That's something else. We also got the Oilers to finish things off in April. And game 82. I mean, let's be honest, Trevor. There's a small chance that game 82 is the one that gets us into the playoffs. And if that's against the Oilers, bro, that's pretty much my Stanley Cup final, man. That's what it is, man.
We'll be shotgun of beers for sure if that's the case.
Keep Quinn Hughes, man. Let's just play meaningful games, and it's cool, man. Seeing the schedule come out, I didn't know this was going to be the case, but I'm kind of looking forward to summer finishing out here, so we can just get back to watching games and seeing if, the Jerry Springer stuff that happened in the room and whatnot, the Maury Povich stuff, that the soap operas that was happening in the room was actually the reason, right? The reason why we couldn't get things done and have success. I wonder if we're right on that, because if we are, this hockey team led by good goaltending and one of the best players in the game, we're going to find success, man. I'm not doubting Quinn Hughes' ability to not win games back-to-back years in a row based on how he plays and how he leads. And again, if that's backed up with really good goaltending, I want to see some winning hockey games, man. Remember the start of last year, how bad it was? And you could just tell?
Yeah.
This team wasn't a team. I'm excited to watch the Canucks again, okay? Not a bunch of individuals.
Hey, man, I've always said there's no better escapism than just, going nose deep into sports, man. And for me, it's definitely going nose deep into your Vancouver Canucks. And what else I go nose deep into? This podcast here,
Yep.
Locked On Canucks. Yeah, what were you going to say?
Flowers, man. That's what I do, nice. Man. When I pick out flowers for my girlfriend, I smell every single petal, not just the flower, every single petal. So I just, I know what's right for my girl, man. One love to my girl. One love to Trevor's girl too, right? Happy wife, happy life. Hit the like button, feed our families, feed our girlfriends, feed our women, because yeah, man. Sometimes life can get stressful, man. I'm not saying they get stressful. I didn't say that, Trevor. Trevor, you know what? Let's just sign us out here, man.
Oh, Kyle. Oh, geez, that was fighting words, man. Hopefully we give you some escapism here on Locked On Canucks, because we are here throughout the summer, baby. It's 365 here on Locked On Canucks. We appreciate the hell out of you for tuning in. If you like what we're doing, share the podcast episode with a friend. Hopefully, Kyle and I will be back on the Substack this week as well. I'll link for that in the bio. One love to all you. Go Canucks, go. And we'll catch you next time here on Locked On Canucks.
Peace, 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 peace.